All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. And my name is Judson Powell. All right, how y'all doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Want to talk a little bit about solutions because, and I always do this because it's like I get tired of hearing like all of the stuff that's going wrong or that's been wrong with black people throughout history and all that kind of stuff. I got that, okay? And I think most people have it. What we need to start doing now is making solutions, because unless we start making some solutions, then all we're going to do is go right back into the cycle and repeat the same cycles that we've been repeating for years and years. I mean, come on, this stuff's been repeating for almost 500-600 years. Okay, so we got to start making some solutions, and these solutions have to be unilateral. We just got to do what we got to do in order to survive. And we know that right now the climate, the political climate and everything else is anti-black, is anti-gay, is anti-women, is anti-everything that's not a rich, land-owning, business-owning white man, to put it bluntly. All right. And I'm not saying that, and once again, I'm not saying this stuff because, I'm gonna get comments, oh, you're a racist, or you're blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not a racist. What I am is I'm so pro-black that I'm not really worried about how everybody else thinks. In fact, I probably shouldn't have made that last statement, but I had to just say that I'm just pro-black. And we've been catching the short end of the stick for a long time, along with Latinos, along with women, along with, with anybody else. Like I said, there's not a rich, white, land-owning, business-owning person in this country. The only thing that Donald Trump did during his entire, besides inciting the January 6th riot, the only thing that he really did was give a tax cut to the ultra rich. And basically all they're doing is they're taking our money. think about this, y'all. They're taking our money. It's our money. That's our tax dollars, and they're redistributing it to rich people. And like they really need it. And then I was doing some stuff today, and I guess it was like almost 100 Walmart on its own made like $125 billion. But yet and still, they can't pay their workers a livable wage. And I mean, that should be criminal. And there's no way. And the CEOs of all of these corporations are making double-digit millions, 10 to $50 million a year. Just to be the CEO of these companies. And then they're talking about, oh, but we don't have the money in order to pay the workers a livable wage or a livable salary. And that's problematic. So we've got to figure out how to fix these things. And the first thing is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court turned back affirmative action, turned back Roe v. Wade. Now, these two turnbacks, what will they do? They are going to affect white women more than any other population, because they were the ones that were benefiting from those from those former Supreme Court decisions up until now. They were the ones that were benefiting, because under affirmative action, white women were what? Considered a minority. Okay, so now so now are they going to keep voting against their best interests? Are y'all going to keep, any white women that are watching, are y'all going to keep on voting against your best interests? Are you going to keep on voting these same people in that keep on dogging you out, but yet and still you vote for them? Why? Because of white supremacy. That's the only reason why you would ever vote for them. It's because that you want to keep white supremacy and white supremacy intact. All right. It's not going to get any better because they have a 6-3. I mean, they literally have a 6-3 majority on the court. Now, what can you do about that? Well, You know, while I was in law school, I like to read the Constitution a little bit, and you can pack the court, which is what the Dems should do. The Dems should go ahead and pack the court. Just keep on voting people on the court. And the other thing is, Alito and Clarence Thomas should be impeached. They should impeach them. I mean, there is evidence that they have taken bribes from people that had cases before the court. That, you know, there's a difference between, okay, you know, somebody paying me off, but when they're paying me off to make a decision in their favor, why are we not pursuing that? Democrats, like the Democrats aren't even pursuing that. And that should be pursued, because that you can't do that. And Supreme Court justices can be, just like presidents, just like Trump got impeached twice. You can get impeached as a Supreme Court justice. So they need to start impeaching these people and start trying to do whatever they can to remove them from the court. All right, that's one solution. There are other solutions. Don't get me wrong, but the biggest solution is probably to start some type of impeachment proceedings, or or when they have cases like that, make them recuse themselves. The other thing is, there needs to be term limits. There should be term limits, not just on the Supreme Court, term limits on everything. There's term limits on the presidency, so why aren't there not term limits on these other major offices? You know, this is not 1776. This is not, a day after the Declaration of Independence was written and all of that kind of stuff. So there are ways that things can be done, in order to right the ship. But people got to be proactive. You can't just sit back and say, oh, they overturned Roe v. Wade. What are we going to do? We're going to sit there and blah, 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 blah. It's not helping you at all. And the fact of the matter is, anybody, that should be grounds for automatic removal from the court. You gotta put those things need to be put in there. They need to be redrawn, people. But these term limits important. Like some of these senators and some of these congressmen, they've been in office forever. They've been in office my entire lifetime, and I'm saying, and it's like, why? And the other thing is, they don't have, anything to add to the government. They don't have anything to add to the people. And the thing about it is, right now, the people are being ignored, and basically, well, except for the rich people, they're the only people that are out there doing anything because they have the authority to do it. They have the authority to do it. And that's the other thing. All of the gerrymandering, drawing lines, and all of that thing, all of those things need to be scrutinized, to the nth degree. Because what's going to happen is they're going to redraw the lines so that they end up with a majority in Congress, and then they can just do whatever they want. And it's not based on population, because we all know, and that's another thing I want to talk about just briefly, but there is no such thing as a white majority of anything. In the world, population, United States population, none of that. And y'all got to go, and that's the thing. All our internet scholars that's running around here going live on Instagram and everything like that, and pontificating all this stuff. Well, the one thing that you definitely need to pontificate is the fact that Black people, Africans, and people from the African diaspora are the majority of people on the face of the earth. They are the majority of the people on the face of the earth. Let me say that one more time. They are the majority of the people on the earth. Not white folks, not Europeans. They are not, okay? And then on top of that, in the United States, and the reason why I know this, just from my own knowledge, and my knowledge base is because as a person that practiced in radio and television for a long time, I know that all of the predominant largest markets in the United States of America are all predominantly black. There are very few places that you could say, that these are the majority white markets. Most of them are out in the middle of the plains, out in the middle of nowhere, and they don't even, they don't have any type of population to contend to say that, oh, we have the most people, we have the most numbers. So right now we're fooled. We're just fooled into believing whatever it is they have told us for years and years and years and years. They call you a minority, but you are not a minority. So that's the first thing. The first thing is to wake up to the fact that you are not a minority. The second thing is that your vote has consequences. That's why Roe v. Wade got overturned. That's why affirmative action got overturned, because y'all didn't vote. It's the same thing. Just like y'all in Georgia, y'all didn't vote for Stacey Abrams because there's more black people in Georgia than there are white people. The only thing is that the white people went out and voted for their people. That's it. Other than that, they can't beat you in anything. If y'all register and vote, and you're gonna win because you got more people. And as young people start getting into voting and everything else, there's definitely gonna be more people. And right now, we know that there is in the white population, there is not one birth for every one death. We know that their population is declining. We know that 100%, right? So that's why they're making all of these draconian laws, all of these fascist laws, because of the fact that they are afraid of being in the minority, and they are afraid that we're going to turn around and do the things to them that they did to us. That's all it's about. Let's break it down. They just think that we're going to retaliate for all of the years that they did atrocities to us. But that's never been our thing. All we want is to live peacefully. We ain't even gotta live. And the other thing, all of that segregation, desegregation, whatever, what have you, we have never been like head over heels, like, oh, well, we gotta have everything just like y'all have it or whatever. All we want is separate but equal. Right? And it just goes to show it by all of these towns that they came through and destroyed later on or did whatever, because they were all black towns and they had no way of being able to control them. See, that's what because it's always been about power and control. And also, if we make our own products, if we develop our own schools and daycares and grocery stores and everything else, we don't need them. What do we need them for? We don't. The same thing, just like people are kind of, it's affirmative action. Well, just like I told them, look, I posted on Facebook that, look, it doesn't matter. We'll teach ourselves like we always have. Most of my education, even though I got a lot of education, most of my education came from my mother and my father making me read books. That was always my punishment. My punishment was reading books, especially with my dad. You do something here, boy, go get, Richard Wright's, the complete collection of Richard Wright, and do a book report, But it put me in the position where I could become a lawyer. It put me in position, where I could run, $1 million businesses. So, I'm not mad about it. Anyway, fastest 15 minutes is up. You're not a minority. Think of ways to get around stuff, solutions. We need solutions. Fastest 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Most of all, hit the love button. I love y'all.